Hello, everyone. We'll be beginning our webinar in 1 minute. Well, good afternoon. This is Terry Albrecht with the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality and Waste Reduction Partners. I'm going to be your session moderator. I wish to welcome you to today's webinar titled Energy Saving Strategies During COVID. This webinar is intended to provide North Carolina businesses and institutions the latest information on incentives and services on energy efficiency and utility cost saving strategies for Duke Energy and Dominion Energy electric customers. With the trying times of COVID and so many impacts on revenues, many North Carolina organizations are looking for any opportunity to cut costs and save utility dollars. Our team has been hosting a series of webinars and peer discussions about these utility management strategies to help organizations cut, reduce, or better manage utility costs. And we have hosted a series of webinars that can be found on our Waste Reduction Partner website for your reference. Today, we've invited representatives from Duke and Dominion to discuss their energy efficiency and energy management program offerings. And we also have a business case study that's been able to take advantage of one of the Duke programs and talk about their experiences. We're going to have a dedicated question and answer session to further address your questions about these approaches and programs. So we're very excited that you are joining us with us today. Our event is being hosted by the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality and a handful of its programs, including the Environmental Stewardship Initiative, NC Green Travel, Waste Reduction Partners, and which also works in partnership with the Land of Sky Regional Council, who is helping support this platform today. So thank you for all of our sponsors and hosts. Just a little bit of logistics. We have, today we're gonna actually have 3 panelists and they're gonna speak for about 45 minutes, a Q&A discussion for about 20. So overall, we'll be ending before 3 o'clock. I wanna go into just a couple of housekeeping issues. If you're having any kind of audio problems, I would suggest that you use your phone, and these phone numbers and access codes are on your registration link. So if you're having trouble, please try that. Everyone will be muted on this call, but and we're going to be recording the webinars, and slides will also be available. And I'm going to be emailing all those out to you, to all the registrants after the webinar. As I mentioned, we're going to have a dedicated question and answer session. And so you can be asking your questions in written form. Looking on your GoToMeeting control panel, there's a question menu, and you can click on that and type your question into the box. So be thinking about those questions during the speakers, and you can be typing them in and sending them in. You don't have to wait until the Q&A session. You can be putting them in during the whole time. So I hope everyone can take advantage of that. And my colleague Scott Pfister will be helping with that Q&A session. Okay, we're gonna jump right in, and I just want to kind of review today's panelists. We have Wesley Sprouse with Dominion Energy, Adonai Cologne with Duke Energy, and they're going to be talking both about their utility offerings. And then today we have Steve Cardone with Adams Beverage in North Carolina, and he's going to be talking about his experiences implementing some energy efficiency projects with some of the Duke programs. We did have a representative, Tink Willis from CBM, but she is not going to be able to be with us today due to health reasons. So with that, I'm going to ask Wes to unmute, and I'm going to move right into his presentation. So Wes, are you there?
I'm here, Terry. Thank you very much.
I can hear you.
I welcome everyone. We really appreciate your interest in saving energy. As Terry said, I'm with Dominion Energy. We have a portion of North Carolina as our service territory, mostly in the eastern part, the Outer Banks, Roanoke Rapids, in that area, up in the corner there. And we'd really like everyone to participate in our programs. Could we go to the next slide? Thank you. Just this is our standard commitment to energy conservation, which is we're very sincere about that. It's a lot of system benefits, a lot of benefits for the customers and ratepayers, as well as utilities in general, for everyone to participate and help cut down on the use of the grid. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, we'll jump right in. I'm the program manager for the non-residential programs, and in North Carolina, these are open to all businesses, state agencies, school systems, county municipalities, everyone it's not residential is eligible to participate. We have for small businesses, and this program is very active in our service territory. We have a small business improvement program that's specifically designed for businesses that have a monthly demand of less than 100 kW. And less than, but it's not up here, but also need less than 5 locations. So that's considered small business. And a lot of these measures are at very low cost to the customer. And also might mention that nonprofits are also eligible for these programs. Small business includes, that program includes some lighting measures, AC tune-up, duct test and seal, things like that. So it's been very popular, and we encourage everyone to take a look at that. We have a prescriptive program, which is actually designed for larger customers, but is also open to any size customer. It also has the duct test and seal provision, some HVAC tune-up, a lot of refrigeration system. And if you're in the restaurant business or prepared food business, take a look at the kitchen appliances that are available, Energy Star appliances that we can give you a rebate for, and that's been a very popular aspect as well. And programs we just started this year: lighting systems and controls, heating and cooling efficiency, and window film. We had those in years past, but we have a approval period, and once those expire, we have to refile the programs. So we got approval this year or late last year, and have those programs up and running. And window film, don't just slough that off. That can be very effective in cutting down your energy bill. So please take a look at that when you go through these and do your research. It can really help cut your bill, and the costs are fairly minimal. Heating and cooling efficiency program provides, for installation of HVAC equipment, and it might add that it's also available for new construction. So if you're building a facility and you want to put in some high efficiency HVAC equipment, we can help with a rebate. So keep that in mind as well. And of course, the lighting systems and controls that's been a very popular item because the payback period on LED lights is relatively short, and it's a very popular program. Saves a lot of energy and helps the customers out. Probably our most popular program. And we've also seen an uptick in occupancy sensors being installed these days, especially when you've got a lot of flexibility with people coming, not in the buildings as much. You want to make sure those lights are off, but available when people are there. So another thing to keep in mind. Can we see the next slide, Terry? These two programs are also new. They're a little more involved than the other programs. In the office program requires a lot of involvement with the customer to go in and talk about how they're operating their HVAC system and their lighting controls and everything they've got in the building. So we look at it from a holistic perspective and try to maybe take the design back to what it was at the beginning when the building was built, and then maybe adjust that a little bit so you get the most energy savings for the equipment that you have installed. And again, we offer rebates for doing that, so that can help you save energy and also cut your costs a little bit for having the measures performed. The small manufacturing program, it's a little bit of a misnomer. It's all about compressed air systems and repairing leaks, having more efficient motors and controls and dryers. So we encourage manufacturers, maybe not just small manufacturers, medium size as well, to look at that program. Get your, those compressor systems can eat up a lot of electricity, and you want those to be as efficient as possible. And there is an error on this slide. This program does not have a limit on electric demand. So even if you're over 100 kW per month, you're still eligible for the small manufacturing program. I think this is going to be one of our popular programs. We just got it started, seeing some activity up in Virginia, and hopefully North Carolina customers will be interested and call up our vendor and take advantage of this. Can we have the next slide? Now, these are 3 programs that were just approved in Virginia, and we're planning to bring those to North Carolina, and we'll right now the plan is to file those with the Utilities Commission and to get approval, and we'll be offering those. We'll be rebating distributors to stock energy efficiency equipment to make it more available for companies that do HVAC work and that type of thing. We're going to have a new construction program, so if you're going to add on to your existing building or build a new building, we can work with you to make that the most efficient possible and also save you some money in the process. And the small business program I talked about earlier, it expires early next year, so we have an improved version of that. It's expanded a little bit with some more measures that we're going to be bringing forth, and hopefully it'll dovetail right into the end of that existing program. And I think you'll find that very beneficial if you're a small business. And let's wrap it up with the next slide. So here's our website. It's specific to, it'll get you specific to the North Carolina programs, and there's a whole list of things on those websites there for each. There's one for each program. Once you get into it, you can select the program, and there's a lot of details in there. Some pricing sheets for the rebate list, applications, and that type of thing. So will be very helpful. or you can just call the number there at the bottom, and that'll get you into the call center to talk to someone from our implementation vendor that can help you out with your needs. Terry, that's all I've got right now. I look forward to any questions in the Q&A session.
Great, Wes. Thank you so much. It was very informative, and I'm sure there'll be lots of questions for you. Some excellent programs there to keep exploring. Okay, before we jump into our next speaker, I wanted to kind of engage you all and run a poll just to see who we may have online today. And we have a little over 60 participants. So if you would, please click which sector best represents you, and I'm going to see if I can show you those results. I'm going to give you just a few more seconds to okay, so just to kind of summarize these, I'm not sure I can show these to you on the screen, but we have about 22% that's manufacturing or industrial, 24% schools or university, 37% institutions, agencies or nonprofits, and about 13% other, and about 4% commercial. So with that, let's see, maybe I can share that on screen. So maybe you can see that right now. So thank you so much for being with us today and for participating. And I think these programs really are covering the gamut of so many non-residential sectors. So very good. Well, so next up, we have Adonai Cologne, and Adonai is the business energy advisor for Duke Energy. He has spoken on some past webinars that we have done, and we're really fortunate he can really speak to so many of the Duke programs, both Progress and Carolina side of the shop. And so with that, I'm gonna pass the controls over to Adonai and make him the presenter, and he's gonna go through his presentation. And I guess I'm time to hide this. So Adonai, did you get a prompt?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Looking forward to it though.
Hold on one second here. Oh, wait, let me try to send this to you again. Sorry about that. I think
Well, while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Adonai with Duke Energy, and I'm a business energy advisor, so we work closely with the customers. We actually go out to the sites and help customers find ways to be more energy efficient. That's our main focus. We do have a team of about 7 that are scattered across North Carolina. Looks like that's something here.
How's that?
There we go.
Okay.
That looks great. All right. So everyone hopefully is able to see my screen now.
Yes.
So like I was mentioning, I am a business energy advisor. Like I said before, we have a team of about 7 across the state. We do work with medium-sized customers, large customers, small business customers, and you can always set up an appointment with us. We know all of our programs that we have available to all of our customers, so we can work directly with your style of business. We work with large manufacturing, schools. We also work with small restaurants, municipalities. Our customer segment is pretty broad, so we know how to deal with every type of customer. We have a lot of experience, and our team is pretty educated on all our options. But what I'm going to do today is mainly focus and show you kind of what options are out there, what to look for, what programs actually fit your business a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and get into that. Now, because it is hurricane season, I figured this might be important to bring up as well. Outages. We do have some commercials out there, and people do ask me sometimes about the outages and outage alerts. So you can actually register to get outage alerts for your business online on our website, duke-energy.com. So now with smart meters, before we would have to wait for the customer to let us know that their power's out. And now the meters actually send us a signal and also send the customer a signal with our new smart meters. So we're able to kind of get that information a little faster and provide you with some updates. But feel free to still call in if you have an outage. We also have the outage tool on our telephone app, so you can actually do that there as well. You'll get estimated time of restoration on your phone. You should be getting text to update you during the entire outage. Some other features that you're going to have on the Duke Energy app, you're going to have usage alerts, which are great for small businesses, medium-sized businesses, high bill alerts, so you can see if something's going on at your location that's using a lot of power that shouldn't be. We see a lot of HVAC systems go bad, and that will send you an alert letting you know what's going on to see, so you can actually investigate and look into it and see what's going on at your location, so you can correct it before the end of the month, before you get the bill. You also get to pick your own due date, and also it sends you payment confirmations letting you know that you paid. Now, during COVID, we have canceled all disconnects. We have canceled all late payment charges, additional fees. All those are removed during this time. As of right now, we don't have a day when we're going to restart any of that, but currently right now, you can pay anytime, and there's no disconnection at this point or late fees. So if you're kind of struggling with that and you need a couple more days, don't worry about it. We're not going to add on any additional fees for that. Now, some things to look for in the bill, and this is kind of important to schools. This is going to be important to manufacturers. This is going to be important basically to all the types of businesses. Things to look for in your bills. You want to make sure you're still checking that every month. Don't just pay it. But first thing you want to look at to see what rate you're on. You can always give us a call on our Business Energy Advisor team, and we'll actually do a rate check for you to see if you're on the best rate. So, for example, hotels usually do better if they're on a time of use rate, or if you have a restaurant that stays open 24/7, a time of use rate might be a better option for you. Now, also large manufacturing that operates 24/7, time of use rate might be better for you. Or you want to make sure you're on a smaller rate if you're a smaller account, and that would be a SGS rate. And that's something we can definitely help you out with. I know not everyone's an expert on rates, so we can actually do that for you. So if you just want to give us a call and ask us to check your rate, we can help you out with that. Another thing that you want to look out for, and this is mainly for any breweries that are online or manufacturers that are on the line, you'll see a sales tax line on your energy bill. That shouldn't be there. If you're a manufacturer in North Carolina, you should not be having to pay sales tax. So make sure you check that on your bill. And if you're still paying sales tax, we can actually credit you up to 3 years and actually remove it going forward. So that's a big opportunity to see if we can remove the sales tax for you, especially if you're a manufacturer. And I saw there was a lot of manufacturers on the line. So make sure you check on that. If you're not sure, feel free to give a call to that number and we'll be happy to help you out with that. So another good opportunity to save energy, we actually have a Duke Energy online store. We have heavily discounted some of the energy saving products. What you can do during this time, if you don't really have funds, we actually have items for free on our Duke Energy store. We have free LED light bulbs, free shower heads. There's a couple different options there. But we also have things that you can purchase where we have already implemented the rebate. So you can get thermostats for $150, the Nest Smart thermostats. You can get sensors for $5. Those are great in the bathrooms and the offices. Little things you can do here and there that's going to help you save money for your company. And like mentioned before, Wesley mentioned, this helps out our grid, so that's why we're able to do this for our customers. Now we do have, and you're going to see kind of a green arrow for new programs that we have. One is the energy assessment. So we have waived the fee for energy assessments. So this is great for schools, properties, manufacturers, basically all customers that want to see how their building is performing compared to other buildings. We'll actually do a virtual energy audit. We'll collect all the information about your building, your HVAC system, your lighting, control systems. We'll actually do a full energy model of your building and provide you with the results to see where the greatest opportunity is, what energy projects you should attack first, and what you can bring your bills down to by making those changes. So it's a great opportunity just to do a free energy assessment while you have some time available. You can actually walk the building and give us all that information. Same thing with energy design assistance. So if you're doing new construction, we actually can do a full energy model with your designs, and we'll actually provide you with all the rebates that are available. So we'll handle all the rebate paperwork and make sure you get a rebate for your new construction project. And same thing with the energy assessment. If you would like to get some rebates for any energy projects you do, we'll actually handle all the paperwork for you to help you get the rebates for any energy efficiency projects that you move forward on. So like I said, it's free, a great opportunity to take advantage and see how you can make your building more efficient. Another opportunity, and this is mainly going to be for offices, smaller areas that don't have a control system, but we are giving away free smart thermostats. They're the Honeywell one. The way we're able to do this program, on our high demand days when it gets hot in North Carolina and it's above 100 degrees, we'll just reduce the fan usage at your location, and that helps out our grid. So that's how we're able to actually give away our free thermostats. They're all programmable. You can control them from your computer or your phone, and that'll help you save energy throughout the entire year. And then also it helps our grid on those high demand days. And once again, just to go back, you can find all this information on our website, duke-energy.com. You just go for your business and you'll see products and services. That's where you'll be able to take advantage of our programs and get all of that information. Another great feature that we're doing now, and we've just started on the unregulated side, Duke Energy One, just to let you know, you can get this program from other companies as well. We actually have a shared savings program where we'll actually help you with your energy efficiency projects. So what we'll do is provide you with a turnkey solution. There's no upfront capital. So basically we can go in, change all your lights for you, and then with your savings, we'll pay ourselves back. Now, this is available inside and outside our service territory. But that way you can actually go ahead and get your lights done this year. If capital went away this year and you had plans to upgrade your lights to LED, we'd actually be able to come help you out with that. Use no upfront capital and just use your savings to actually go ahead and move forward with that project. And we'll handle all the rebates. We'll install a meter just to see how much you're saving with your lights, and we'll actually handle all the maintenance during the entire term. So that's an option for everyone who's wanting to do that lighting project but has been kind of held back because of different issues. Now, our energy efficiency rebates, Wesley talked a lot about the rebates that are out there. We have a lot of similar rebates. They're all available online. If you don't see them on our prescriptive list, we can do a custom rebate. We just need kind of the calculations and the approval ahead of time before you sign any POs or purchase the equipment. But the biggest opportunities I see, manufacturing, air compressors, I see a lot of opportunity there, lights. Rooftop HVAC units, variable frequency drives. Those are great opportunities for manufacturers, for schools, a lot of lighting, control systems for your HVAC units. Once again, VFD for those rooftop units at the schools. And the biggest one is always lighting. That's kind of the low-hanging fruit. But HVAC, there's a lot of opportunity there as well. Just adding a variable frequency drive, which is about $3,000, will save you. That has like a 1-year ROI because it makes it so much more efficient. Now, those are rooftop units that are usually from around 10 to 15 years old. That's the best opportunity. If the rooftop unit is actually less than that 5-year, it probably already has a VFD built into it. So there's not much to do there. But for your older units, we'll give you money if you install a VFD, or if you clean the coils, we'll give you money for all that. Also, a big opportunity, and some new features that are coming out actually this year. We're adding more money to the LED. We were actually able to give you more rebate money. So this is actually the best year to do a lighting upgrade because the rebate is so good. So that'd be a great opportunity if you were kind of holding off. We're actually giving more money. So that's great opportunity there as well. Another thing that we've added is wall insulation and roof insulation, and also a white cool roof. So if you're updating your roof, and if you're going to have a white roof, for example, a white TPO, we're going to give you 10 cents a square foot. So if you have a 500,000 square foot building, it's a great opportunity to get a lot of rebate there. This goes for all customers. Most customers have roofs, so it's a great opportunity there. Now, if you have less than an R20 value on your roof, the insulation, and you're going to be R20 or higher, we're actually going to give you 60 cents a square foot. So that adds up pretty big, pretty quickly. So that one, I've seen rebates go out from $150,000, $200,000, up to $300,000, just when customers are updating their roof. And what you'll see, it's actually pretty common that the R value is less than R20, and that just paying maybe $1,000 or $2,000 more, and then you get all the entire rebate. It makes it worth it. But if you're planning on doing your roof, it's a great opportunity to get that rebate. Also, we're adding more VFDs to drives, pumps. Great opportunity to get rebates on those, and actually get a little bit more money on your energy projects. Another great new feature that we just launched is OneView. OneView is where you'll actually be able to see detailed data of your usage. It's a brand new tool. We just launched it about 2 months ago. It's free to use, and you can actually see all your data. You can actually go in and see all your accounts. You can have multiple people have accounts at your location, so it's not just one login per account. So if different people need to see your usage or your financial usage, you can actually see it all right there. You'll have some extra tools in there. So you can see your property profile, how you're doing compared to other buildings that are similar. Check out your energy usage. You can actually mark different areas where you're seeing a jump in service, so you can actually go back to it and do some investigating. And also you have some support available there. And it will also do kind of some analysis behind the scenes to see what rebates would probably best fit your business. So that way we can actually do that all online for you. And this is on oneview.duke-energy.com. And here's just an example of a customer where you can actually see the data, see the temperature change. You'll have a lot of comparisons that you can do. You can do comparisons to the previous year, weather comparisons. There's a lot of data you can use on here to actually see really good information on how your building is performing. Great for schools, great for manufacturing. You'll see on the right-hand side of the screen that you can actually see what days you're using the highest amount of kilowatt hours. And our system actually does that for you. You can actually see the date, times. If you want to go real in depth, you can see what time you hit that peak load. This customer, they were wondering if they reduced energy when COVID really started launching right around May. And you'll see in the blue, that's when you see that energy reduction. So they actually shut down their building and only had minimal usage. Now you can see before, kind of in the previous year, during the May, there was a lot more usage. So it's a great opportunity to actually see how your building in detail, how your building is performing in detail. And just some other energy services in case you're interested. We do provide, like I said, LED lighting projects, outdoor lighting. We do provide backup generation, EV charging stations now, power quality assessments, interior lighting, and we can provide all these services with no upfront capital. So if there's things that you need that are energy focused, we can still help you out even during this time. If you don't have the upfront capital, we'll work with you and try to get that moving forward for you. And just a little kind of green energy information. We do have sustainability goals. So we should be down, as of right now, we're right at 50% green energy. By 2050, we should be down to 5%, and 2070, we should be down to 0 carbon neutral. So here's just a little extra information. If you guys have CO2 reduction goals, actually the energy that you currently have is pretty energy CO2 reduced and greener than most you get out there. So California is #1 in the nation for solar. North Carolina is actually #2 in the nation for solar. So you do have a lot of green energy on our grid. We're trying to work on that every day to make it greener and help you guys reach your sustainability goals as well. But that's all I have. Just a big general overview of a lot of our programs. Like I mentioned before, if you need someone to go to your location and see what other opportunities there are or what's the best program for your location, just give one of our business energy advisors a call and we'll be happy to help you with your location.
All right. Well, Adonai, thank you so much. That was a lot of information and so many programs. So I'm sure there's going to be, you know, a number of questions as we move forward. Very good. I'm going to take back over the controls here. And Steve, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Great. Well, we're really fortunate today to have Steve Cardone, who's the Chief Operating Officer for Adams Beverage of North Carolina, and he's based in Charlotte. But his company's been able to take advantage of multiple energy upgrade projects. Some using the Duke program. So he's graciously offered a few minutes to discuss some of those projects. So I'll let you talk about those, Steve.
Great. My sound's okay as well?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay. So thank you for the introduction. Really, the way we kind of came about this, admittedly, was almost by accident. I was formerly in the sales side of our company and transitioned over into the operations side, and had a safety inspector come visit our main property in Charlotte. And one of the things she noted was that we had kind of the older style metal halide lights, and started to kind of talk about some concerns having warehouse employees working underneath them, and if they pop, it becomes a major kind of safety issue or can be a safety hazard. But even beyond that, we have about a 100,000 square foot refrigerated warehouse, and it's kept month by month. The temperature changes, but it ranges from 62 to 70 degrees. And what we realized is we had about 100 metal halide lights in there that were inefficient, but as a secondary piece, the temperature they're putting off, I think, was in the 400-degree range. So we really were, working with a bunch of kind of ovens on, trying to keep our refrigeration running, 24/7, and spending a bunch more money and using a bunch more exercise energy than we needed to. So working through Duke, found approved vendors that sold us the lights, and really our only out-of-pocket cost was for the installation. And long story short, because of the reduced energy, but also the reduced amount of heat, we were able to hit a break even in less than 6 months to completely pay for the project, and then also feel like we're doing the right thing for the environment and using less energy. And then a big piece was we were able to do some delamping, where in a few sections of the warehouse we have about 50% fewer light fixtures, but actually have increased the brightness that we have and kind of the visibility we have in the warehouse. So that's really the biggest win we've had. But that, through Adonai's help, we have 3 other locations in North Carolina that one of them just this week, we put in some LED lights inside the warehouse, just knowing our own the track record. But with Duke's help, we just replaced the exterior lights through one of the Duke programs, and just realizing twofold that it's going to give us a brighter parking lot at night and just better safety, but with the added benefit of a reduced bill. And then in some of our other facilities, we're hopefully soon underway with just a similar program, just upgrading lighting that'll give us more efficient use and really give us a pretty quick break even. And I hate to, I don't want this to sound bad, but it's like the math would even make sense even if we didn't have the Duke support. But with the Duke support, it really becomes a no-brainer to move forward with many of these projects. But that's really all I have, and I don't know if you want me to answer any questions or if that covers enough.
Yeah, Steve, thank you so much. Those projects seemed super interesting and definitely sounded like they had a great payback period as well. We right now are going to move into the Q&A. So, Steve, if you can hang on for a few minutes and kind of address questions with everyone else, if you have just a few minutes to hang online with us.
Sure.
Okay. Well, great. Well, very good. Right now, I want to kind of turn the session over to Scott Pfister, who's going to be addressing questions and answers. So I want to encourage all of you to type in your questions in the question box, and Scott will relay those questions back out to our panelists, and we can have our discussion. So, Scott, are you on? Very
yes,
good.
I am. Yes. Yep. All right. Thank you so much, Terry. There's been so much great information, really good presentations. I know I can almost hear everybody furiously typing and scribbling down all these great programs from everyone, and the great example from Steve there. We've got a few questions coming in here, and I know I have some questions myself. I just wanted to note from Wes that's interesting to hear about the uptick in the aux sensors, and that's great to hear about proposed programs. And Adonai, thank you for reminding folks as a prior manufacturing person about the manufacturing sales tax, and it'll be really interesting to see what comes out of that one view. So the first question here, we're getting towards the end of the year. This one's for Adonai. We're getting close toward the end of the year. Can you talk about the kind of the timeline in terms of when you need to start a project and when the rebates, can they carry over into 2021?
Sure. So the rules on our program, if they're on the prescriptive list, which most lights and HVAC systems are, and air compressors and roofing, you have a 90-day window from the completion of the project to actually apply for the rebate. So once the final date of the project. So once it's finally complete, you have 90 days from that date. And now you can get it turned in before that, just to get pre-approval, so that way that you don't run into any issues of running out of time. But yeah, if you're close to that timeline, feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to help you with that application. Most vendors do know how to do the applications. I know the vendor that Steve worked with to do his Charlotte location knew about the rebates and was able to help them out with that. But yeah, if you work with most trade ally vendors in our area, they do know how to do that, and they'll try to get it in within that 90-day window. Now, you do have the option of opting out of the energy efficiency programs. That does happen once a year in November, if you're looking to opt out of that EE rider.
Okay, great. Thank you, Adonai. Wes, this next question goes to you. There's a lot of great programs that you listed. Can you walk us through a little bit of some of the timelines for applications? Are some of the programs, do they have different timelines, or they all follow the similar timeline?
That's a good question. Glad they asked. They're basically all the same. It's very similar, excuse me, very similar to what Ed and I said for the Duke programs. Our programs may be slightly different. Most of them are prescriptive. And what you would do if it's involves LED bulbs or looks like the rebate is going to be over $10,000, you have to fill out what we call an initial assessment. And what that does is reserve that amount of money because we have a budget for these programs. It reserves that amount of money for you, and also as our implementation vendor reviews your project and what you're planning on installing to make sure it meets the parameters set forth in the program, just so there are no surprises. And then you would get with a participating contractor, have the work performed, and then, as with the Duke programs, you have 90 days to submit an application. And again, the participating contractors are trained to help you with this and can advise you how to, the best, get it done, get it in quickly. Just in case there's some issues, there's also a QA. I didn't mention this, but we QA at least 5% overall, but some contractors get QA'd more depending on the complicated version that they're installing. But so that could hold it up. But the customer has 90 days, 45 days to get their application in. And then we have 90 days to give you your approve and pay you for the rebate.
Great, thank you, Wes. And just a quick follow-up for those who are on acronym overload, do you mind helping us out with QA?
Oh, I'm sorry. Quality assurance. We have it set up so we QA certain, like if it's a something that's had the installers have had trouble with in the past, we put that on the list, and they'll go out, and our QA people will go out and make sure it was installed properly before we approve the rebate. And it's not going to destroy the rebate or cut it off. It's just going to make sure that it needs to be fixed before we can approve it. But you'll get your rebate. It's for the customer's protection as well as making sure that we rebate something that's going to be effective.
Great, thank you. Adonai, this next one goes to you. I think one of our listeners was trying to play along with OneView while you were giving your presentation. And unfortunately, they said they're a large customer account, and their login, I'm assuming they mean their login from the billing side, didn't work for OneView. So can you just talk about that process to get into OneView?
Sure. So if you are opted into the energy efficiency rider, you are going to be able to have access. If you're a larger customer, you actually have another tool, and usually you're assigned a large account manager at that point. And we actually have another separate tool for our larger customers that really use around 500,000 in usage or more a year. So that would be a separate tool for them. But if you're opted into the Duke Energy Efficiency Rider, you should be able to log in with any issues. Now, if you have any issues logging in, once again, you can call that Business Energy Advisor line, and they should be able to help you log in. And if you have any issues there, yeah, we'll help you out and get you into the correct tool so you can see your detailed usage. Because even customers who are opted out can see their minute-to-minute usage.
Great, thank you. Steve, this next question goes to you as the COO there. I'm sure ROIs are thrown around in a lot of meetings. And you had mentioned, and as a former EHS person, I appreciate you talking about safety and excess heat of lighting. A lot of times ROI is just the simple ROI. Have you all been successful in incorporating how to factor in safety or excess heat or some of those other kind of externalities around a project within your ROI structure?
We were just looking at our Duke bill versus the previous year. You know, I wasn't getting so detailed to say the temperature outside was 90 degrees this day last year, and it was only 89 this year. And it was really just our year-over-year savings. And that's not even factoring in, you could get real complicated and say, all right, these bulbs are going to last 10 years, where the old lights, maybe were due to be replaced every 3 or 5 years, just given how many hours per day they were running. So that was just a very simple, Excel spreadsheet, just comparing the power bills from the comparable time periods from the previous year. We didn't really get into anything complicated other than just knowing the LED lights, the new lights are burning maybe at 100 or so degrees, where the old lights were probably quadruple that.
Great, thank you. This next question, actually, there's a couple related questions in terms of rate structure. I think we'll start off with Adnai first, since the question's directed towards Adnai. But Wes, definitely I'll let you have some time at the end to talk about that. So it's a little bit of a two-parter here. How frequently can a business change its utility rate structure? And kind of the part B of that is, can rate changes be temporary? So that those are kind of one and the same question, I think. So Adnai, we'll start off with you.
Yes, they can do that once a year. So you're able to change your rate once a year. You can't jump back and forth, because some may work a little bit better during the summertime, and some rates may work a little bit better for your business during winter time. So we can't really do it like a jumping back and forth. I've seen some accounts that have time of use would work better for them in the summertime, because that's when they're really having more business, but they have to keep that rate the entire year.
Well, and at Dominion, the best thing to do if you're looking to change rates, and you're a commercial customer, or commercial industrial customer, or non-residential, is maybe call your local Dominion office, or if you have a key account rep, and ask them that question, because it can get complicated depending on which rate you're on. Generally, if it's a large general service customer rate, it's going to be based on your electric demand, monthly demand, and it can change. It doesn't change very often. It'll change automatically if you drop down below a certain amount for let's say a year or so. But there each rate has its own little nuances. So I would suggest if that's something of concern, you should call and talk to a expert.
Great, thank you both for that. A question just popped in here for both Dominion and Duke. Will these rebates be offered for projects in 2021? Essentially, are all of the things that you talked about, are those all continuing into 2021? And we'll start off with Wes on that question, and then Adonai.
All of these programs will be going into 2021 with the exception, well, the small business program for us will be ending in early 21, but we will have the small business enhanced program to take its place. I don't see any barriers for the commission to not approve that, but you never know. But the prescriptive program is scheduled to end later next year. So if you want to take advantage of that, I would do it this year or early 2021. Other than that, the others will be going for the next 4.5 years.
And for Duke Energy, we actually are keeping all, we've actually went ahead and updated our term. When we go back to the commission, it's usually midsummer, so we've already been approved for everything for next year. So all the rebates that you actually see on our website, you can actually go ahead and start making plans for 2021 to get that amount.
Excellent. Thank you both for helping those folks plan for the future. Steve, speaking of the future, with all the experience that you've had and all the projects that you've been involved with that you described, how does working with Duke and working with your staff there, how has that changed your outlook on projects for the future?
Well, Adonai paid me a lot of money to say nice things about him, so I'm just kidding there. But no, all kidding aside, it's been nice to have him specifically come out to our building. And again, I mentioned earlier, I'm relatively new to the operations side, so just to have kind of an expert walking around and pointing out, hey, if you get a new compressor, if you get this, really just giving us a wealth of information. So it helped to have a trusted partner, and in a way, it worked for us to take one pretty good bite, and it worked, and then it made it real easy to kind of make a decision to push forward with 3 other warehouses to update where they need. So there was just the level of confidence built after one kind of it's more than a base hit; it was kind of a home run. But then in a building we just moved into earlier this year. Working through getting credits back where we updated some air conditioning units. So just realizing that the money that Duke's putting into it has been substantial, and it's fairly easy. Just that to get an approved list of vendors and know that they've done some of the vetting. And really they're sending their team out to give recommendations of, hey, you should look at this light in the warehouse, or just they're telling us with their expertise kind of where we need to look. So that it's been relatively painless.
Great, thank you for all that. And this next question might actually, Steve, perk your interest as well. But we'll start off with Wes first, and then Adonai. I know I've been a part of and heard of a lot of webinars dealing with automobile fleet, trucking fleet, as well as material handling fleet, charging infrastructure, leaning or guiding or moving more towards opportunity or quick charging. Can you all speak to how Dominion and Duke is preparing for folks that are installing or upgrading their charging infrastructure?
Yeah, I could just briefly, say that we've got, in Virginia, we just had some programs approved on the residential side for, I guess what you'd call energy efficient chargers, state-of-the-art type things. There's a program for that on the residential side, and it also has a demand response component to it, where we could maybe use some of the energy stored in the batteries. And we've been looking at that for the commercial side, non-residential side as well. Excuse me. And I believe in the future we'll be considering programs like that. But the company in general is looking at electrification and is doing putting a lot of effort into how we can help customers with chargers and using, making the most of their EV fleets. Again, if you have a key accounts manager with Dominion, please contact them, ask them about that, how we could help, Dominion could help with your EV fleet.
And what Duke is doing, we actually just launched our EV charging program. So we can actually go install EV charging stations at any locations. Now, EV charging stations are a little bit different from the fleet. The fleet is going to require more power and more infrastructure. We do have that program as well. Once again, our programs are no upfront capital. We'll just do kind of a charge per month lease, and then you get to keep whatever we install. But yeah, we actually do install EV charging stations now for businesses. As we know, Tesla's coming up with trucks now and everything. I'm hoping Adams Beverages is going to be one of those first ones to get one of those electric vans and everything. But yeah, we are preparing for that. We're actually moving forward now with installing them. We're doing a lot in apartment complexes right now. Eventually, I'm sure schools are going to be looking for those as well in different locations. But we have started it. It is an option for our customers currently.
Great. And Steve, are you do any of your facilities have quick chargers for your forklift fleets?
For the forklifts, we have a few, but most of them are doing kind of traditional charging overnight. But along the lines of what Ed and I shared, one of our facilities actually has solar panels on the roof, and we're anxious for electric trucks to come out. Our ownership is kind of chomping at the bit to be able to tell the story of having delivering a case of beer where we're not using any kind of fossil fuels. The dream would be to use the solar energy to power the truck, and deliver it to an account without filling up any diesel. But that's kind of one of the visions out there. But the short answer to your question is, we have a little bit of opportunity charging, but in general, it's still the traditional charging. That's just driven by the hours our guys work in the warehouses.
I'll drink to that. So the next one here is for well, let's start off with Adnai from Duke, and then Wes. So are any of the energy efficiency rebates applicable to the agritourism industry? And just keep in mind, agritourism is a pretty broad definition. So there might be some different segments within there. So please feel free to speak to different segments as well.
So for us, rebates are available for all non-residential accounts. So as long as you do not have, for example, a home account, you can actually take advantage of all our rebates.
Well, likewise, depending on the size of the business, obviously, the small business improvement program But for the prescriptive and the other programs, depending on the equipment you have at your agribusiness, if it's refrigeration, the prescriptive program can help out with that. There, the kitchen appliances section, if you've got prepared foods and that type of thing, that the prescriptive can also help. Certainly, lighting would be applicable to a lot of those. But if it's a business, there may be, you need to look at the detailed aspects on our website, and you could see the whole list of measures that would be available. In the past, we have considered a program targeted specifically at agriculture. And while we haven't been able to make that work as far as cost effectiveness goes, we haven't given up. So I think we're going to be asking some vendors to propose those again. So we'll see how that works out in the future. But for now, please look at the list of measures on our website for each program and see what may be applicable to your agritourism business.
Great, thank you. So this might be more apropos to the large account holders, and if you could actually both of you, Wes and Adonai, if you could speak to this. But with some large account holders, there's an opt-in, opt-out provision, and a certain timeline that one can opt out and then rejoin. And we'll start, Wes, with you, and then go to Adonai, if you can answer that.
Sure. In North Carolina, there's a usage limit for opting out. I think it's 1 million kWh per year in a year. So if you hit that level, you can opt out of paying the rider. But once you opt out of paying the rider, you can't participate in any of our programs. And it's been a while since I've looked at it, since we've had this come up, but you want to get back in, I believe you have to stay in for a certain period. Can't remember if it's 3 years or 5, but I could look that up. If someone wants to email me, I could check that out for them.
And for Duke Energy, this is going to sound silly, but get ready for it. So it all depends if you're under Duke Energy Progress or Duke Energy Carolinas. So the western part of the state, which is Duke Energy Carolinas, you only have to be opted in 1 year, and then you can opt right back out. So it's on a yearly basis. So if you do a rebate project this year and you want to opt out all next year, that's perfectly fine. And then opt back in the year after that, you can do that. Now, for the Duke Energy Progress side, you can only be, once you opt in, you have to be opted in for 3 years. So it's a little bit different on the eastern part of the state. I'm not sure why that is, but that's currently the rules right now, and hopefully that will change where it makes it a little easier where you can just opt in for 1 year. But we do see a lot of customers take advantage of opting in and taking full advantage of the rebates and then opting out the year after. And one thing that we can do for you, and just like Wes has a team for their large accounts, we do too, and we can actually do the assessment for you and see how much reduction and how much rebate you would get, and see if it's worth doing. Sometimes it's not. If it's going to be a smaller project, it's not worth opting in for. If it's going to be a larger project or multiple projects, so if you're doing a lighting project and your roof that year, it might be worth it to opt in and just be opted in those 3 years. So it all depends on what your energy efficient projects are. One of our programs you do not have to be opted in for, and that's our shared savings program, where you can actually stay opted out and still get new lights, and we still work with you. So that's what I've seen out there for customers who are opted out of the EE rider. They actually take advantage more of that program because you don't have to opt back in and you can still get new lights.
Great, thank you. Um, and this next question goes to Adonai. Does the shared savings program address anything beyond lighting? So that's kind of the first part. And part B is, have public facilities, government facilities, taken advantage of this program?
Yes, yes, and yes. So we have just been approved to actually start working on HVAC projects and refrigeration projects. HVAC, we're doing whole gamut of items with HVAC. HVAC does take a little longer because we do have to do a lot more assessments and a lot more calculations. But we would basically go out there, do an audit of, say, your rooftop units, see which ones can benefit from a VFD, see which ones are new enough that are working fine, ones that are maybe just need to be replaced. Say they're 20 years old. Now, replacing one wouldn't be a shared saving; it would be more HVAC as a service. But for ones that need VFD, we could do shared savings with. But we could do the whole scope of project for customers now. We're doing one currently where we're doing VFDs and lighting for our customers. And I know one large manufacturer in Hickory, we're doing HVAC and lighting for that customers. Another feature we have now that we just started as well is refrigeration. So food distribution customers would probably take advantage of that, or manufacturers of food would be a great opportunity for that one. But we are looking at refrigeration as well. So a lot more opportunities with that program. And if you're interested, you can definitely give us a call. Like I said, that one's non-regulated, so we can actually go outside our service territory to help customers with energy efficiency projects. Do we work with municipalities and government? Yes, we actually have done that. We are doing that. It's a longer process because now we do handle all the bidding for municipalities. We'll do the 3 bids for them. We'll basically manage the entire project for them, so they're not having to focus on that, because I know it's kind of a process making sure you get the 3 bids and doing all that work. We actually do that to make it easier for them.
Great. All right. And then the next question here is probably a pretty quick one. So you both, Wes and Adonai, have mentioned a list of vendors, and you have these vetted contractors and vendors to do some of the work. What if our listeners have a contractor that they really like? How could that contractor reach out and potentially become on your list?
Well, the best way to do that would be call the number that I had on my last slide. And when you reach a representative from our implementation vendor, talk to them about that. Or you could email me. My email's right up there, and I can help you with that. It's fairly easy, depending on the program, for a contractor to be vetted and get on the list. It's not really, only small business is a little bit closed because we play that close to the vest, and there's a lot of things going on with that program, such as the first thing that happens is the customer gets an initial assessment of their energy savings potential and what measures would be good. But the other program's pretty wide open as far as contractors go. So just ask. There's also on our website, there's a section for contractors so they can get involved. So they might look for that.
Now, ours is kind of similar. I know Joe Gill is on the line as well, listening in. He's one of our senior trade ally outreach representatives. And we actually have a team that works with our trade allies. Now, there's an application online that you can fill out. And you can actually also, as a customer, go find which trade allies are in your area. Also, your business energy advisors and your local trade ally outreach representatives know good trade allies in our area that know how to do the rebates, can actually do the application for you and get the rebate on their end, so you're not having to come out of pocket at all or wait on the rebate. So there's, like I said, our trade ally program is really great. If you know of a good vendor, please let them know about it. Same thing with our shared savings program. If you're working with a vendor that you like and you've worked with a long time, we want to use that vendor. That person knows your building, so we want to kind of keep them attached and keep them along. There is qualifications. We do have to vet them, but as long as they pass that and they have all the, their insurance and classifications, they should be fine.
Great, thank you both so much. It sounds like from Steve's experience and some of your programs, no matter where someone is on their journey, you all have some solutions for them. So, Terry, back to you.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for all the Q&A. We wanted to leave you with just a couple of other resources. So here again, we've got Duke and Dominion's Wes and Ed and I's contact information and phone numbers up there for their resources, and also to let you know if you need help through our Division of Environmental Quality. Want to let you know that the Waste Reduction Partner Program is available. We have a team of about 35 engineers and scientists that do on-site consultations in energy efficiency, water, waste reduction strategies, other pollution prevention strategies, and we really work in an integrated fashion with Duke and other utility programs to ID opportunities and put you in touch with the people that can help implement those and get those done, and do that in a holistic way. So please reach out to us. Plus, all of these webinars will be posted up to the Waste Reduction Partner website. Scott Pfister's information is here, as well as Tom Rhodes, who oversees the NC Green Travel Program, and I know some of our attendees are members of that program, or the Environmental Stewardship Initiative as well. So we want to, as we're wrapping up here, we want to really say thank you to all of our speakers, to Duke of Dominion, Steve Cardone, Scott. Thank you so much for sharing those resources and approaches. There's so much out there, and I hope you can take advantage of that and reach out for help and assistance to get you there. And a special thanks to all of our attendees today. So as you exit, there will be a follow-up survey if you don't mind taking that as you leave, and then watch for a follow-up email from us. It'll have a link to this webinar recording and these presentations in PDF form. Again, thank you for attending, and hope you have a wonderful afternoon.